Thank you, my dear Yanis, and thank you to the Chamber of Commerce that managed to occupy my slot. I'm very sorry I was late. We were preparing at the French residence the Ocean Summit, and it's a huge topic, including energy aspects of capture of carbon. I was also late because we had traffic on the road between the center of Athens and here. So I will try to catch up and to be quick. First of all, I would like to stress two basic elements which are so important to both countries. If you look at the emission of CO2s in Europe, you see that this is the average, and Greece is here and France is there. So we are those two countries below the average emissions of CO2, and we have having both countries a lot of results, successful results, with different, actually, as you all know, coming for France, nuclear energy, hydroelectricity, but also a big national plan, which is called the National Low Carbon Strategy Plan, which has set objectives. This is the kind of Napoleonian type of planification that the French love, which includes a perspective of cutting by 33% the greenhouse gases in between 2015 and 30 and 81 until 2050. So 30, 33 and then 50, which is a huge effort, but also it's a big natural challenge for our energy companies, and also for our manufacturers companies. You all know, because you are specialists, that a lot rely on transport. 1/3 of the emissions is about transportation, and here I will come again in the chapter of what can Greece and France do together on that sector, but also on industry. And the only thing I wanted to stress on my national decarbonation plan for France is that we have identified 50 sites representing 55 of the industry emission, which is a lot, and which allows us to target where we want to make energy efficiency, including with European money, on regeneration, but also on the most consuming energy companies, going into very interesting reflection, for instance, electrification of steel plants, on cement plants, on chemistries of refineries. And this is something which we discuss all the time with Sophie Sidos. It's the partner of Titan. The cemetery Vika, because she's doing, she's a company, but she's a CEO of a company, and she makes light cement in a partnership again with a Greek company. Now today, I hope we can discuss about those exchange of experiences. The French national strategy also has the money aspects, which is very interested, because at some point we are going again to discuss about financing, who does what at European level. As you remember, we had European targets which were only given until 2030. That was the 2019 decisions. It was called the Green Deal for Europe, and we committed ourselves by reducing our greenhouse gases by 55% in 2030, but now we are waiting for a new scheme. The European Commission said that in a week's time, on July the 2nd, we'll have the new plan, and in my view, it's going to be tougher than in 2019, even if in 2019 it was already very tough. The idea is to set up EU climate targets for 2040 and to have a strategic discussion to how we want this to be achieved, considering the globalization of all what's happening around with industry, new tariffs on our products, and new discussions that we should have on the money. Money, I want to say that the French National Low Carbon Strategy relied a lot on EU money. That's something we share with Greece. And in our plan for national resilience and recovery, I would say that 1/3 was meant to be used on energy savings and also regeneration. I was mentioning those plans for the industry, and this is something that we used a lot. So when we start again to discuss about the financial framework in July, we will have this discussion on where we put the money. Is it again on trains, or is it again on other infrastructures, or is it as a whole to specific targets, for instance, on, I would imagine that we do again on transport. But remember from where we come. In 2022, when we started this agenda, we thought that the trains could be run with hydrogen. And we also made visiting the taxi station of Paris, which was my best place to go for the ministers to visit in Paris, the hydrogen-powered taxis, or the buses powered by taxis. And this proved to be in a period where the countries, including Greece and France, went more quickly on renewable. It became quite obvious that we had to reset our strategies. And I would recommend again that we have our national strategies discussing all together between France and Greece after July, after we have that. Why? Because we are much stronger together, because also we are much stronger when considering what exchanges of technologies, experience, we can share. For instance, if I have French SMEs coming to the Chamber of the Commerce on the wind power, on offshore wind energy, what shall I tell them? It's much better than we discuss. Of course, I was very much interested to listen to all what the companies said under the French Chamber of Commerce, because we know the problem of the grid, but we know also that some schemes, including the offshore wind equipments, is something which will take a lot of time, and maybe we need European champions, or maybe we need to be more active, not to actually be in a competition with some of the competitors. There is a lot of competition in the new sectors. What France and Greece could put together? Of course, it's a question of what we want nationally to do. It's about our energy companies. As you know, we have now strategies and coordinating with all our big assets. I'm thinking, of course, of EDF and ENGIE. And we didn't never, in France and in Greece the same, forget our commitment to exclude all the products issued by gas and oil coming from Russia. This was our big change. So our motto, less carbon, more renewable, will still be the same. And I think this works. I mean, at each ambassadors conference, I have the chair of ENGIE coming, explaining to me as an ambassador what I should think about this topic. So it's still a national, very strong national policy. And I think other ambassadors could discuss with us as well in Greece about that. It's not that we are only in a competition. We are preparing the next targets for the EU. Altogether, we are working on exchanges of experiences, but we stick to the values and we stick to the target about what we need to do with all the petroleum products. The second element is about where we need to liaise together to be able to face huge challenges. Of course, you all know about the Great Sea Interconnector. In Nice, we are again going to discuss that between France, Greece, and possibly other Mediterranean stakeholders about this project. We know we have to go through those huge infrastructures. And it's not only about electricity cables, it's a lot about putting into a connection the data center we need and the electricity capacity that we have. It's a huge new element where Greece has a lot of assets to be in. My third element is still transportation. As you know, we signed an MOU on train after the big catastrophe of Tempe, but we are also ready to work with the Greek authorities. Would that be local or would that be regional? I'm thinking about Attica Governor, for instance, on the regional plan of transportation, on metros, tram, interurban connection. Transportation remains a weakness in the efforts to decarbonize. It's not a weakness that anybody wants. It's due to this fatality of the big accident. But really, and I'm not speaking that fatality in terms of nobody's responsible, but we are there to feed by our experience, but also our capacities with all our transportation companies, this question. And it's, of course, the tramway is electric, the buses must be hydrogen, etc., etc. A third element, as Yanis said, and a lot of companies are aware, is about maritime transportation. We work a lot together. We just had some companies working on the decarbonization of the fleets. It's not only about going to green fuel, but it's also to go to more capacities to deal with the communication deals, artificial intelligence, as you said, and the maritime strategy for decarbonation. Steps are small, but steps are global because it's maritime organization. So I'm confident that we can achieve together elements of a new capacity to decarbonize. Just as a matter of recalling, on world transport, 90% is done by the seas. So it's evident that we can, between Greece and France, hope that synergies are coming. Lastly, I would speak about a new sector. We are working on smart cities and city planning. It's transportation, but it's also a lot of capacities with artificial intelligence, with new systems to make energy efficiency better for the cities. It's Veolia, it's companies who probably left the country after the economic crisis, and now with the water shortage in the cities, the energy necessity to be less consumer of CO2, I think we can start again to work on smart city as a whole. Of course, the French companies were there on the energy sector, but it's also an effort on the islands, and it's an effort that with Business France we're ready to cope, making SMEs and larger companies come back to Greece, not only to buy, but to invest in this sector. I strongly believe, even if since my arrival I know that suddenly we have too much renewable energy in Greece, and this was the big surprise. I'm still sure that our capacity as a whole to invest in Greece on the energy sector and all the dependent elements of this investment would be valuable for both countries, for Europe as well. Thanks a lot.